I am Matt, this is Jerva from the Busted Couch. We are here to talk about Looper. I can't believe that we watched Dredd last week, and then this week we watched Looper.
Looper's better.
Looper's better.
Dredd was awesome.
Dredd was awesome, don't get us wrong. Looper is better than a lot of movies.
Yeah.
It is, well, you can say it.
I would say it's the best science fiction movie that I could think of since the original Matrix. So it's easily the best science fiction movie in the past decade. Only thing I can think of that comes close is Inception, and Looper is better. Well, Children of Men.
Oh, I didn't think about Children of Men.
I think I'd still give it to Looper.
Oh yeah, I'd still give it to Looper.
Yeah.
So, and
Moon. We should just stop talking about trying to think of other things.
there was no bad acting in it that we saw.
Yeah, there was no superfluous scenes. There's nothing, like everything was, it was a very, very tight movie. It's fantastic. It's probably my favorite time travel movie ever, beating out Time Bandits. It's my favorite Rian Johnson movie, beating out, you know, his other two, which are both awesome. And if you're a fan of Looper, you should watch Rian Johnson's other movies. And if you're a fan of Rian Johnson, you should watch Looper. And if you're not a fan of Rian Johnson, you should watch Looper.
Yeah, there's
I don't know where I'm going with that.
There's pretty much no circumstance under which you should not watch Looper.
Yep.
Yeah, I got nothing bad to say about it. It's really hard for me to say anything about it without spoiling it, to be honest with you right now.
Yeah, very much like Cabin in the Woods. It's a movie where you don't want to know too much. Like, the trailers did a great job of giving away just enough of the plot for you to be interested and know there's time travel and everything. But to get into it further, like to get into the most surprisingly awesome actor in the thing, just to talk about that character is a huge spoiler.
Yeah. Yeah. There's an aspect of the film, which isn't mentioned in the trailer at all, that if we say anything about it, it's pretty much going to spoil at least a good portion of the movie.
Yep. So I think we'll just... It was awesome. It was really, really, really good. It's probably going to, I would assume, be on pretty much everyone's top 10 lists at the end of the year. Right now, it's very close to toppling Avengers for my #1 pick for the year. It's definitely #2. And now I think we should just go to spoilers, because there's nothing else to say without spoilers.
Yeah, we'll put up the spoiler alert. It should be somewhere in around here.
They'll see it. It'll be flashing.
Yeah,
flashing. Pointed to it.
I want to point to it.
Great. It's going to be up there now.
No.
Go there. You editing this?
God damn it.
It's going to be right down the middle. There's an entire plot line that you never get, which is why Bruce Willis comes back. That's not in any of the advertisements. And also, I don't think anything really... Like, I saw a couple shots of things hovering, but there was never... I don't think they made it in any way clear that there were people with telekinesis in the future.
Yep. TK.
Yep. Something happens in the next, like, 30 years... Because it takes place in 2040...
2040.
2040, straight on?
No, or 2044.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah. In the 2040s. And yeah, apparently 10% of the population they've got telekinetic powers.
Yep.
That's the thing. And basically it's kind of like a sort of a Kira story where this kid has, like, he's the strongest telekinetic person ever. And if things go the way they're currently going, he's going to grow up to become basically the head mafia guy for the entire world and run, like, every syndicate anywhere with his crazy psychic powers.
By himself. Like, he literally, in the future, they say that he goes through and kills everyone by himself. Alone. Yep. So that's
that's why... that's why he's traveled back in time. Well, that, and then also they were trying to kill him. But that's his plan, is to kill that guy while he's still a little kid, to prevent that from happening, to prevent the timeline wherein he gets sent back. And because just before he was sent back, his wife was killed, and he really just is trying to prevent that.
Yeah, and if you don't know what a looper is, I mean, if you didn't watch the trailer, it's basically like a time hitman. So the mafia from the future sends someone back to your time for you to off them with your blunderbuss.
And where the actual name Looper comes from is the fact that he's got to kill himself is not actually special. All of them have to do that. That's how they end their contract. The last person they kill is themselves from the future. And then they get like an extra big payday for that and go off to spend the next 30 years doing whatever until they're shucked back through time to die.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Supernatural when they make a deal with a demon and they have 10 years to live, and at the end of your contract you're dead. So
yep.
It's kind of similar to that.
Yeah, it's got really neat time travel stuff. The near future is really cool. Like the solar panels stuck on all the cars and the way it's all extremely poor. It's really well done and realistic. It's one of my favorite near futures. It's got a little bit of Terminator in there. It's got a little bit of Akira in there. It's definitely got a little bit of film noir in there. It's a huge mishmash which all comes together to make a really solid science fiction film. The Kid.
The Kid is
amazing. He's like creepy and badass and just in general a really good actor.
Like, okay, he's talking to Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character.
He's got subtlety down. Where just like he kind of gives little looks and like little hand gestures. That's crazy.
Yeah, this kid, like, not only does he act like a kid that's ahead of his time, he pretty much is a kid that's ahead of his time as far as acting is concerned as well. Like it was phenomenal. I didn't see anything that he did wrong with that at all. Nothing. And I really like how it's like, as you said, it is like an Akira kind of aspect to the movie. So this kid has like these humongous powers that he doesn't know how to control yet, and basically whenever he gets hurt, his mom jumps into a big vault, like in her closet.
Yeah. Whenever he like, gets upset in any way, it's time to run and hide because he might destroy the house.
Yeah. Yep. I was just like, when I was watching the movie and she ran out of the room, I was just like, shouldn't she be helping her kid or something? And nope, because she's gonna die if she stays in the room.
Yep.
So
the scene where she was actually saving Joseph Gordon-Levitt instead of running to grab the kid.
Yeah,
that was really awesome.
The kid's falling down the stairs. Joseph runs around.
He's like running to
try and catch the kid,
and she like tackles him out the door. He's like, "What the hell?"
And it's like that part's kind of in semi slow mo and like flash frames and stuff. And then he's like lifting all the furniture up, and then the one gat slinger or whatever they call them, one of the bad guys anyway.
Cromartie. He's Cromartie.
Cromartie, sure.
From Sarah Connor Chronicles, and he's awesome. Always good to see him in things.
So like all the furniture's floating around him, and then finally like a heap gets picked up, and then he starts to explode in slow motion, and then just as that's happening, Joe is flying out the door with the girl, and it's like the house explodes.
Yep.
It's fantastic.
That also ties into another really neat thing they did, which is anything that Joseph Gordon-Levitt Joe sees, all of a sudden, as it happens, Bruce Willis Joe remembers it because it's now happened to him 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So stuff that he always knows exactly what's happening at that time, which is really cool. And it kind of starts to mess with his actual memories because they like what he remembers fades in and out depending on how probable it is that it will still happen to him.
Yeah.
Which is really neat, and seeing Bruce Willis play that is really cool.
Bruce Willis really played well, and I really liked it. Okay, you think that they have Bruce Willis, right? If you've watched it, you know what I'm about to say. It's like they brought him in. They're going to the head mafia guy. What was his name? Do you remember?
Jeff Daniels.
Well, it's Jeff Daniels.
I don't know.
Bring him to Jeff Daniels.
It's just Jeff Daniels.
And what this guy doesn't really even think about is that Bruce Willis's character has been training for about 30 years as a hitman and has all these skills that no one really thinks to think about. And so he kills everybody.
Yep.
Everybody except for the one guy. But
who still got shot.
Yeah, he still gets shot. That was a pretty awesome scene. He's like walking around with two P90s, just like mowing people down. It was like, yes. So really good action scene there.
Yeah. It's great to see Rian Johnson like growing and doing completely new things with every movie he does. The style was fantastic, the setting, the atmosphere.
The ending. Because, like, the blunderbuss that the loopers have is really limited to about 15 yards. And
it's a blunderbuss.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to hit anything outside of that range, so that's all he has at the end, and Bruce Willis is too far away and he's trying to kill the kid because he needs to kill that kid or his wife dies. And all that stuff.
Yeah. However, what young Joe realizes right at the end is that it's because he comes back to try and stop what happened so that his wife lives that the guy ends up becoming the mafia boss. Because basically to try and kill him, Bruce Willis is going to shoot his mom and he's going to like grow up an orphan. And then he gets angry and bitter, and that also explains why when he becomes the mafia head he starts getting rid of all the loopers, because one of them killed his mom. And so he like basically just all of a sudden has this flash, sees exactly what's going to happen, and there's only one way he can come up with to stop the loop, and that's to kill himself so that Bruce Willis disappears.
Yep.
It's not like Rian Johnson's movies are ever really happy in their endings. No. I mean, but it works so well. Like, it's not really a depressing ending.
No.
It's just not a happy ending.
But then the only thing that you gotta think about is that when Joe kills himself, wouldn't... Like, I know Bruce Willis has already been there and everything like that, and all this stuff's already happened. And in order for him to want to kill himself, Bruce would have to be there. So it's one of those things where it's like if Joe kills himself, then
you're thinking that then he never would have existed
in the first place to travel back and then cause that loop.
Himself. Most stuff goes with basically
alternate reality.
Time travel is divergent reality.
Yeah.
And so everything that had happened up to that point had happened.
It's on a different...
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Gotcha. So, yeah. So, we've just figured out time travel.
It's just, instead of the divergences just splitting infinitely away from each other, they kind of round back towards each other, which is, they don't get into it too much, the science behind it, but that would explain why Bruce Willis's memory keeps changing. Because it is divergent and he is from a possible reality, but it's basically a probable reality because it's based on the fact that both Joes are pretty much the same guy and are going to live pretty much the same life. Yeah. So that's why he still exists until he doesn't.
There we go.
It's basically Schrodinger's Bruce Willis.
I'm really glad that there wasn't a big development between the hooker. There's hookers in the movie. So there's
once again, that's 2 for 2 for movies with hookers.
Yeah. It's got hookers. But yeah, I'm glad that there wasn't any more development on the whole hooker thing, because I thought that's where the romance was going to go. At the start, and I was just like, well, that's predictable.
It was really just to show how sad his life was.
Yeah. But all we can say is that you need to go watch it.
Yeah, it is absolutely 100% worth watching.
Yeah.
It's just awesome. Everything about it is awesome. If you like film, this is one you should see.
Yeah. It pushed Dredd and all the other movies down a notch for me for the last year. Same with you. So, yeah. Go watch it. Do it now. go. I'm Matt. That's Jerva. He's drinking out of his goatsy cup. And we'll see you next time we watch a movie. If he never snever had he been the chosen